meditating.
Thank you. Good afternoon, all. Welcome to this forum. We have a range of experts in cave exploration as well as in cave diving exploration. So that's the topic that we are going to cover today: cave exploration and cave diving exploration. Okay, for a start, we'll say I'll give each person 5 minutes to give their main point. For the members of the floor, if they have anything to ask us. Okay, we'll start with Encik Zainal Fikri. Okay, can you give us an idea what cave exploration is about, what it entails, and how does one get involved in cave exploration?
Okay, first of all, I would like to say before we start for caving, we need to learn about how to explore the cave. You need to learn about what cars and then the type of the cave. Okay, mostly in the tropical countries, most of the cave diving spot is deep inside the cave. So you need to learn more about the cave exploration, the techniques, the ethics, and the safety before you enter the cave, right? Okay.
Okay, just I think many people will not know the term speleothem or speleology. Could you just give a brief idea of what is that?
Okay, for the term is speleology, it means that the term in the scientific term for the caving, and the speleothem is the structure and any building inside the cave, like soda straw, stalactites, stalagmite. That one is the speleothem.
There's one term that you use, I think many are not aware, cast. Can you tell us a bit of cast?
All right, cast. Cast is the, okay, common we learn about stone. We have a three stone. That limestone is the cast. One of the stone is the limestone. So limestone is we call inside in the scientific name is the cast. So the others is the sandstone and the granite stone. But for the limestone, in the scientific name, we call it cast.
Okay, thank you very much. I hope that the terms as mentioned earlier is much clearer now. Okay, the second person I want to ask is Mr. Lee, Lee Kian Lee. He's a very famous, very well known among explorer, cave explorer in Malaysia and in Indonesia too. And in Thailand, I think one thing we forgot, he did quite a lot of cave diving in Thailand. Okay, what kind of training must a person undergo before he can be a competent cave diver?
Basically, for cave diving, you need to make sure, as a full cave diver certified under some agency that offer the full cave training. So you will go a series of like from cavern, intro to cave, and then you will be fully dive inside the cave for minimum of the dive. How far the distance from the light zone. So then you will be certified as a full cave diver. So on top of that, in order to do an exploration, you need to know about the caving skill also, like Encik Zainal. So you need to know about the SRT skill, the safety in the cave and the rescue. So to ensure you have this both skill, then to make sure to make your cave exploration and cave diving more efficient and safer. I put it this way.
Okay, I think you made a very good point. We are going away from light. In other words, as you go into the cave, the light gets less and less, so the cavern turns out in the end to be a cave. Okay, that requires a lot of mental preparation because our life are mainly in the photic zone. Always, except at night, the rest are always, we are always under the sun, under the light and so on. But This light do not exist in cave naturally. So what kind of mental preparation would you need for a diver if he wants to go into becoming a cave diver? Eric?
Okay. I think maybe underwater is totally zero visibility is totally zero. So we need to very clear mindset. All our equipment on use is good condition, and anything happen, we just need to stop and think to recall the memory when we pass through.
And I'm sure the audience would like to know, in Malaysia, where can we train for cave exploration?
Okay, for the cave exploration, usually for my association, Malaysia Specifically Association, MASA, we organize a few courses for cavers, such as basic caving course, advanced caving course, and also cave mapping course. Because the most important is when you want to become a caver, first you need to learn about cave, and then the way how you want to explore. And mostly for the cave diver, they need the geological information of the area, and then of course the map. Mostly in Malaysia, we are very like about the cave map in Malaysia. So now we are start doing this, and our latest expedition last time in Perlis, we do the cave map, and then we found a few spot for the cave diving. So the map of the cave and the map for the underwater is totally different. So we need to combine it. So under MASA, we run and organize the caving course for newcomer or also for the divers.
Okay, interesting. Okay, Mr. Lee, I think many want to know where in Malaysia can we be trained and certified for cave diving?
Okay, so far as I know, they offer at the Sipadan. So they will use the Sipadan Turtle Cave as one of the the cave diving spot. As I mentioned before, in order to get a full cave certified, you need to get through various kind of a cave. So maybe, they will offer the cavern. Then later on, you may need to complete your certification at the Thailand or Indonesia, so where they have more proper cave for you to dive. Of course, in Malaysia, we have identified certain location for the training, but we are not yet to open to the public until our association is fully established. By next year, then there is certain location in the West Malaysia, especially at Kinta Valley or the the police there, we can do some kind of a cave training, which is safe for the new cave diver.
Okay, well, that's good news. Just wait for a year or so. Now, in a year or so, there may be people who want to do cave diving. But what about the newcomers, Eric? Those who are not yet diver, what kind of steps, what kind of courses can they take in order for them to prepare for a cave diving course?
Your means is not yet a diver,
Not yet,
even
diver,
not a
yeah.
diver. Okay, maybe from start they need to get an open water diver first, then step by step to go higher level until the technical or rescue diver. After that, then if they're really interesting on the cave diving, maybe they can try out for the like a cavern diver first. So after that, if they're really interesting on that, maybe they'll go higher level for the full cave diver or something like that. So I think from course is open water, go for the advanced rescue. At least they have good mindset about the diving and the buoyancy control, everything. Then maybe they go for the next step for the technical diving, know how to carry more tank about that to entry the overhead environment. Then step by step to go it. Yeah.
Okay, just now we mentioned about mental preparedness, but there's one always a problem for most people is monetary preparedness. Can you give an idea how much will they need if they start from open water right to all the training until they reach cave diving, certified cave diver? What will the cost be?
Oh,
much
what
will
is the
it
cost
Yeah.
be? Okay,
Because-
this is what I can say is sometime because different diving instructor they have their different rate. So I cannot seeing a amount then they can go for that. But what I means is if can maybe they can look for those instructor is very active in maybe exploration or maybe very active in teaching and very good review on internet, very famous instructor, then they can go for that. But I think the roughly price, I think 30 to 40,000, 25, around 25
Depends on where
ringgit
you are
Malaysia.
lah.
Yeah, depends
little
on
bit, yeah.
which location you go for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at the moment, how many cave instructors are there in Malaysia as well as in Southeast Asia that they can actually go for training?
Okay, as Mano, my instructor, my cave instructor is in Thailand, is Paul. So, and actually have a lot of instructor in Thailand because Thailand is a lot of the underwater cave there. In Malaysia, I'm not sure about that, but as I know, think Sipadan will be SF Chong or maybe Uncle Chang.
Yeah.
I think they are now this year they are provide the cave training also. Yeah.
Okay, so Malaysia is still at the infancy, still starting on cave diving.
Yeah.
But scuba diving, we have a lot. So
Yes.
we have a pool of people who, if they are interested, they can be future cave diver.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Zaino, what do you think of not just physical preparation, mental preparation, but equipment preparation? What kind of equipment preparation do they need to start on cave exploration?
Okay, for the cave exploration, first of all, you need to prepare from your head to your foot. Is it suitable or not for cave exploration, such as helmet, headlamp, and then one piece attire, like we use a coverall, because sometimes we need to crawl and climb and chimney inside the cave. So we are prefer for one piece coverall, and then you have a proper SRT equipment. Sometimes you need to down, and then sometimes you need to climb up and then traversing inside the cave, because the structure inside the cave is not all the same like on the outside. So we need a proper equipment for that. And at the same time, we need to bring enough food and survival kits also. And the first aid is one of the most important things lah.
Okay, just for clarification, SRT, can you spell that out for the audience? SRT, you mentioned
SRT means the single rope technique. Common in UIS, International Union of Speleology, we call it the alpine caving technique. So in the cave, if we are facing with the technical or vertical cave, sometimes we need to go down for 30 meter, 40 meter, 50 meter down, and then there is no other entrance, so we need to climb it back. So we need the SRT.
So basically, the SRT technique is climbing on vertical rope.
Yep.
Okay? That is something. So you will need good ropes. You need the right attire.
Yes.
Okay, and you also need to learn the technique. Because these
Yeah.
are things
correct.
that builds up the cave exploration.
Yes,
in
correct.
Malaysia.
So in our association, for the basic course, we already talked about the SRT technique, not only just for exploration, but in the basic caving course, we taught them about SRT, at least the basic, how to climb up, and then how to going down, and then how to escape and exchange the system for movement inside the cave.
Okay. Also, some of our cave, the mouth of the cave is quite high. And in places there's no staircase to reach out there. So, what are the techniques that we can use to reach to the mouth of the cave?
Okay, the another technique is, let's say if the cave entrance is very high from the ground level, so we apply the rock climbing technique. So we use threads. We climb, we use thread because, of course, that area there is not a spot for rock climbing.
Yeah.
And there is no bolts and then no hangers already over there. Then, so we use the threads, mean the cam, hex, and nut to reach the cave entrance first.
Yeah.
And then that one is for the first cable to going up, and then he will set up the ropes, and then the rest of the cable will come up use the ropes.
Yeah. Okay. Where can people here learn about rock climbing?
Okay, for rock climbing, for in KL, you can go to Gua Damai Extreme Park near here, Batu Cave. There is one operator there, Wira Adventure Consultant. They run a course, and we also have a tech team, also run a course for rock climbing. So the easy word means once you want to become a caver, you have a multi-skill of outdoor. You means you can climb a rope, you can climb a rock, you can swim, you can everything. If you want to become a caver.
Okay, thank you. Okay, just now we mentioned caving, the cave can vary from very large, or in certain places it gets so small that is too small if you are doing a normal scuba equipment. Is there any special scuba equipment that you can use that's more popularly used in the cave diving? Lee?
Basically, when we do exploration, we will use the side mount. Sometimes, for example, for my case is we don't know the situation of the cave, so I will do a quick survey, either using no mount technique or using the side mount. So certain restriction, definitely the back mount you cannot go in. So sometimes we may need to take out part of the equipment, especially the tank, to pass through the restriction. So for the time being, I mean, the side mount should be the ideal configurations are for cave explorations.
Okay. But even if you have side mount, say with two tanks, that 45 minutes is 1.5 hour. Sometimes you need to go quite way in, maybe 300 or 400 meters. So is there any other equipment that you can use in place of too many tanks to carry?
So sometime, so far in Malaysia, we didn't go until so far yet, but some part in the Indonesia, the cave is quite far. So almost 800 meter. So go back about 1 kilometer plus. So those kind of cave, we will do the stage. So we will actually have to bring more tank inside and then place it at a certain location. So then when we come back, we will change the tank and then come out. So and when it comes to exploration, for our case here, so normally we will set the limit. So we go very slow because we don't know what is what is ahead. So we will always reserve more than 1/3 because the 1/3 rule is applied to the cave diving. But when it comes to cave exploration, so I will be more conservative on that, and then also on the depth. So basically, like this, like using side mount. So some restriction we will pass through. Have to take out the tank, whatever it need, but make sure you have a buddy that always can come with you together. So then the air issue shall be resolved. Not say resolved, like we have a redundancy as backup, yeah.
What about rebreather? Is that a good alternative to having a lot of tanks?
Rebreather, yes, of course. We do have a rebreather before. Nowadays, the rebreather is getting more advanced and more smaller. So we haven't tried the new compact one, but definitely the rebreather is a good go. But to bear in mind, rebreather also carry a risk. So you also need to take a bailout tank.
Yeah.
So all these things you need to consider. But we did consider for mines diving, they will be identified at the Perlis, Perak, and the Pahang. So definitely to go to further deep inside of the mines, we need to use the rebreather because now currently we explore quite far already, and then the depth is about 50 meters. So to carry 4 or 5 tanks inside the mine is not It's not an option actually. Rebreather is a must for the case.
Okay, Eric, if existing diver they want to start to tame themselves to cave diving and cave diving, where can they get equipment easy in Malaysia?
Actually, in Malaysia, they can get all those cave diving equipment. I think most of the dive shop they have selling it. Important is they need to know about the setting because the equipment, maybe some, like let's say we use side mount. So side mount, they have some parts you need to like swivel type and the DIN adapter, something like that. So before they purchase, actually I think the in side mount equipment in Malaysia is quite famous already. A lot of dive shop also they're selling lah. I'm selling also. So the important part is they need to know what is the setup for the cave diving, because as I know, a lot of the side mount diver they apply the side mount on open sea diving. So actually, inside the cave with the open sea diving is totally different, because if inside the cave we use for the cave diving, we need all the hoses is stick with our body to avoid the hose get cut by the sharp rock, everything. But if you apply on the open water diving, you don't need care about that. Even your hose is exposed and the hose is longer than the standard one, it's fine, it's still fine because it's open sea diving. But inside the cave, you need to all the hoses and all the equipment most proper to reduce the problem to happen inside the cave lah. Yeah.
Okay, it's just minimizing all the danger lah.
Yeah.
Try to eliminate practices that can lead to dangerous situation.
Yeah.
Okay, now suppose there are old people who are already interested in cave exploration, cave diving, and so on. What are the benefits for them personally going through these activities?
Okay, for me, about the cave exploration and the cave diving, there is something new that you will learn, because it's like you are in another world inside the cave, okay, without light, without sun, and how the animal or plant that can live inside there. So it's for me it's like we are in the moon. We are standing in the moon because there is not much life inside there, and then most of the character of the rocks inside there, and then a lot of size, and then the speleothem also is very unique and very beautiful for me. So the cave exploration for me is a good experience for people to learn about life.
Okay, so going into cave, you are going to another world. You enjoy a different view which you do not often see. Okay, what about in cave diving? What other special thing that you see in the cave that you do not see even in diving in the marine or freshwater environment? Lee?
Definitely, I agree with Zaino what he say. So you will see a different thing as speleothem and so on. But when we come to the cave diving, so what we enjoy, of course, is the speleothem, and it's very nice and unique underwater. And then on top of that, we also can see a new species that not yet been discovered. Also the fossil and some other antique stuff. So which will bring more question to you what actually this cave, what happened in the past. So we may found some ceiling, we may found some to tembika, those kind of thing, and the
Ceramics,
fossil, inside the cave. So this make us more. Before this is more to enjoy the speleothems, then slowly nowadays it's more to the academic, and then kind of the more on the documentation on what we find nowadays.
Okay, basically, one is to look at the sporting side of it, recreational adventure on one hand, and on the other hand, you are going to look for new species. You are able to research more. You are able to learn more about cave system underwater. So there is on one side recreational, the other side scientific research. Okay. Now, what other things will benefit people who want to do cave exploration and cave diving? Eric?
For me, actually, a lot of people also asking me this question. Actually, you go for cave diving for what? What you can see? I say only stone, water, and sand, and sometimes it's mud. But if you find out something like some tunnel, maybe 100 years ago, they're still not fulfilled with water. So maybe they have some animals and some, maybe the past people, they leave something inside there. Sometimes like we go into the abandoned mine, so you can see the structure and the view all in your eye is like the time when they're filling with the water, the time have stopped there already. So the view is very, when you pass through, you look for the structure, the lime, everything like when they're filling with water, the time is stopped already. Then nobody to go in. Then when we pass through, we can see a lot of the antique stuff or maybe something will shock you like, wow, why last time is like this one? Because filled with water and without water is totally different.
Yeah.
So we can swim above the from the floor there. We can swim, see a lot of structure. They fill with the mark with the time lah. Maybe after a long time there, they have some sediment stop on there. Then yeah, the structure lah. For me, it's more the structure that we.
It's actually like going through a time tunnel. You are going to see different things over time.
Yes,
Okay,
yes, yes.
and the whole thing is telescope right in front of you, the condensation of that time that you can see. Okay, there is a good spread of what we have discussed, both the recreational aspect of cave exploration, then the scientific aspect of cave exploration, which leads to understanding paleo environment, paleo geography, and so on. I remember reading one paper that they were matching the animals that live in the cave from one of the Mexico and one of the islands, and they actually realized that at one time these two were one big landmass, but because the water had started rising and the landmass had separated, so they were actually able to trace out the geologic history of that area. Okay, I think we've covered a lot today. Can I invite from the floor, if you have any questions that you would like the panelists to answer? I can see from here the thing is too bright. Yeah. Anyone would like to ask? Yes, Swan. Just
Testing. Yeah, just a quick one. Because if let's say I'm a diver, I've been diving for quite some time, but I'm interested in to actually to join you guys doing cave diving. So where do I start? What do I do? Who do I contact and things like that?
okay. Eric is a instructor.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you are already a diver, right? So I think you should look for a cave instructor, the cave instructor to go for your cave courses. So maybe in Malaysia or in Thailand or in Indonesia. So after that, then when you get your full cave certification, then the time you can join us to exploration in Malaysia. Where you get the cave certification? Okay, so in Malaysia, I think have Uncle Chang. They provide the cave training also, and SF Chong, I think SF Chong, and in Thailand I think Thailand is a lot of cave instructor there in Phuket, Krabi, or maybe Bangkok also. Yeah, you can search on the internet. I think there are a lot.
There's also in Bali, they have opened up quite a few cave for cave training, cave diving training in Bali now. Of course, Bao Bao is a very famous place among cave divers, not so much among divers, but among cave divers, they are very famous. Okay, any other question? I can't see from here.
Hi guys, thank you for the wonderful insight regarding the cave explorations and cave diving. So my question is more towards cave diving. So what is the cave environment like at the Kinta region? So in terms of the entry point, visibility, as well as the size of the cave. Thank you.
For the Kinta Valley, we have been explored quite some cave already. The biggest, I mean, there is some big, I won't say it's a natural cave, as I say, it's a mines. The big one we find is at the Perak mines. Currently, the location is, I mean, we didn't share to the public. So inside there, after the 25-meter, so the chamber is opening up. It's quite big down there. So the visibility is great. Crystal clear water. So another one we found is more like the underwater stream. So the cave, they have a several chamber. I won't say it's very big. Actually, it's quite big, but there is a few restrictions you need to go through, and then the restriction is quite tight, very tight. So as you know, the Kinta Valley, they are used to a tin mining area. So most of the cave there is a lot of mud, very fine silt down there. So when you go through the restriction, definitely the risk will become zero. So those caves, I mean, it's not suitable for recreational. It's more for exploration for the experienced cave diver, because you need to pass through several restrictions and then come back with a zero risk. And then you actually you cannot see anymore on your exit. So you have to touch and so on to come out. So there is some other cave also we have explored. The risk there is not, I mean, for me, the width is okay, about 2 meters. So there is, I mean, that one I haven't go in yet. The cave opening, the under cave opening, the mouth is opening. So we will go back to that one. That one require a SRT. So I mean, so far there is a few locations we can dive there. Of course, we dive at the Tasik Cermin before, but I think the Tasik Cermin is a mining area last time. So definitely down there, there's quite some cave, but most of the cave already been, I would say, covered with the mud already. If we go certain, I mean, we can quite some distance going in, then there is a mud blocking the area. So this is about the Kinta Valley.
You're talking about tin mining. There's one tin mine that is different from the other limestone tin mine, and that is the Sungai Lembing tin mine. The former Pahang Consolidated Company Limited. That has closed since the 1983, so it's now about close to coming to 50 years of closure. So far as I know, only our group that has done exploration. We have put up some lines there, but in the future, if there are more cave divers, we will want to explore that again. And probably there are also some rumors that we're not sure. There are probably some cave which is now underwater in Batu Arang, but we have not been able to search for that now. Okay, I think just to tidy up on the point of cave diving, not in naturally occurring cave, but in old mines. Any other questions?
One question. Thank you, Dr. Azhar, Cik Zainul, Mr. Lee, and Encik Eric for the very open information that was given. If we are not cave divers, but we are interested in caving and we like to assist MCDA in terms of logistics, you know, where we can help carry tanks and also move equipment that sometimes I believe is help that you might need as the caves get longer. Would we be welcome to also participate in the association? Thank you very much.
Okay, Lee. Yeah.
Definitely, we are very welcome. So far, we do this mostly with friends and so on. And then, as you know, I don't really like to trouble people. So most of the time is we carry ourselves. Of course, with some other friends, they are not a cave diver. They are also welcome to join. So as long as they are patient, have a patient in cave exploration, so they are welcome to join us. Don't say come to join to carry the tank and so on, but to, yeah, we share the load together. We carry together and then we enjoy together.
And also for me, even MCDF cave diving, not only the entry the water then consider a cave diver. In some time when we go for the exploration, maybe the first dive or maybe the first day is Dr. Azaha and Lee go, and I will do the land support. And sometime maybe Lee and I go in the water and Dr. Azaha will be land support. And some more Mandik is the best land support over here. So as a team, we're not wearing the cave diving equipment, go in the water, just consider a explorer. Yeah, we have a lot of part to gather together to make this thing happen. Yeah.
Okay, can I have more questions?
This is perhaps a couple of questions. So first, can you talk a bit about the current in those caves? Then what sort of thermal protection you're wearing, and how deep are they, the caves in Malaysia?
How our protection and how deep we find protection, our protection
Yeah.
So what is the protection?
Yeah.
And then how deep we have go?
Yeah.
Okay, so for cave exploration, helmet, light, definitely you need to wear the helmet, and then you need to bring light, and then backup light, and then the more redundant air, of course the coverall. And then for me is nowadays I wear coverall inside the cave, and then I will wear the wetsuit under my coverall. So 2 in 1 to go in. So I can dive, I can crawl inside the cave. So the deepest part we go now for cave for exploration in Malaysia is at the Sungai Lembing. It's about 50-meter depth. We didn't go further, as we say, Dr. Azhar mentioned, so we need to maybe carry a rebreather to do a gas mixing, because inside the cave, anything below 40 meters consider is deep. So better to have a mixed air, like using the trimix and so on.
So you are diving dry, or you are diving or wetsuits here?
Yeah. We are diving in wetsuit because some like abandoned mine, the water temperature will be 20 Celsius. So when we going in, we just wear half the full suit. We just wear half because the when we walk it is very hot. So before in water, we will just equipment up, all our equipment, the wetsuit, and all our diving equipment we will store inside a caving bag. Then we carry in, and all the tank. Then we just equipment up and go for the diving. Yeah.
Thank you. Where can I find your booth here?
A86. You can see about our equipment, and you can ask more information there. Yeah, no problem.
Okay, any more question? Otherwise, we can wrap up the forum. Okay, just let me read out. Okay, we cover cave exploration, cave diving. We cover the kind of training, we cover the kind of requirement in terms of equipment, in terms of skills, and we also mentioned that for exploration in cave, you really require a team, both the team of explorers and the team who provide support for us, the surface support team. Okay, we are still in a very infancy stage. So in future, we may have more members, and we'll be able to explore much more. Okay, with that, thank you the panels, and thank you the management of MIDE for inviting us. Thank you all.
Irritating.